a difference between being taught a lesson and learning a lesson. And I'd rather be taught a lesson than learn a lesson. And that's why, that mentorship and that educational component is important, because we want to teach lessons so people don't have to learn lessons, because sometimes you can learn the easy way or you can learn the hard way. You can learn the right way or you can learn the wrong way. So, just being a teacher gave me a chance to give them some academics, but a deeper understanding of what life is.
Hello, everyone. This is author Tim Brown, the book, Boys Won't Be Boys, Empowering Boys Live Uncommon in a Common World. And I truly have with me today an uncommon young man, Mr. Ed Baker, who's the leadership coach for Columbus City Schools. And I met him back in the day at Champion Middle School. Champion Middle School was on the map as being, I'll just tell the truth, being one of the lowest performing middle schools in the state of Ohio. And Brother Baker came over, and the rest, the rest of the story. He turned that thing around, did a great job there, went over to South High School, another assignment, and he's just been wherever he goes, he makes an impact and makes a difference. So I'm excited to have this conversation, and the most important to have this conversation to see how he came about, how the spirit that's inside of him, things he's done, how those were developed. Brother Baker grew up in Flint, Michigan. And some of you know about Flint. Flint's the capital of some great athletes. Michigan State made a living off of guys from Flint, Michigan, and the kind of athletes that came out of there. But Brother Baker grew up in that city. So, Mr. Baker, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Appreciate the warm introduction. I'm just happy to be here.
Yeah, good. I see you represent Central State,
Yes, sir. I am a marauder.
Definitely a marauder. We'll get into that in a minute there. Growing up in Flint, this is a mentoring series, so we talk about the importance of mentoring. As you grew up in Flint, what were some of the men in your community and your dad's household that helped you become the man you are today?
I would say first and foremost, my dad, he was a great man. And he was the perfect example for me. He didn't say a lot, but when he talked, his words meant everything. And his words resonate within me to this day. I grew up with him. He was very hardworking. He loved his family, and just a great overall person. And I was blessed to have his name, and his legacy as well. So I had my dad. I also had uncles who actually came around and were instrumental in my life. And I saw how men came together, how they worked hard, how they cared about their families, and how they respected their community. So my family was comprised of a lot of great men. And, that right there kind of set the foundation for the person who I am today. So, I would say, first and foremost, I couldn't be here. I wouldn't be here without those men in my life. And I think that's why the mentorship piece is important, because, our kids, everybody doesn't grow up with powerful men in their households, but it doesn't mean that they can't have powerful men in their lives. And so, setting that example and, just stepping forward and doing things in the community for our young boys is crucial, and it's going to be key for all of us.
Yeah, you said something powerful there. In the book, I talk about legacy and Boys Won't Be Boys book. And one of the things I talk about how that family lineage, meaning that I get example, if dad is struggling or whatnot, the grandfather will remind him that, hey man, we can do this. You can do this. You can do this. And as far as boys goes, you have dad, you have granddad, you have uncles in place. I have a brother. So there were some times when I was raising my boys when they wouldn't listen to me. They get a little hard headed. So I had to call Uncle Ken, Ken, can you talk to TJ? Can you talk to Nathan? And that made all the difference, and like you said, just having that in their life, and some boys today are growing up without that. But there's men that can step in and fill that gap. and that's what we called to do. As you matriculated from Flint, Michigan, how'd you end up at Central State? How'd that work out for you? How'd you end up there? How'd we get you down in Ohio from the state up north?
Well, actually, my sister, I credit that to my sister. After I graduated, I moved actually to Detroit. Mm-hmm. And, I was out there alone and didn't really necessarily make all of the right decisions. And so my sister kind of came and got me and said, hey, wow. Let me show you something different.
Wow.
And she had graduated from Central State. And she brought me down to the campus. And, and I saw, all these Black people. And it was like high school all over again.
Come on, man. Come on.
It seemed like, they were enjoying themselves.
Yeah.
But most importantly, they were continuing on with their education.
Right.
And so, after being put and placed in that environment, it kind of sparked something in me to say, okay, I need to, kind of brush myself off and I need to do something that's going to be beneficial for me. And so, that was my first step and my first walk into Central State. And, even being in Central State, I came across a lot of good, positive people and good mentors. I remember Dr. Lewis. He was one of the professors for African American Studies. And he just started talking about, all of the powerful things that Black people did. And, as I started reading and researching about, our people, it began to, really encourage me to understand and believe that I wasn't going to be, or I didn't have to be that person that was always out on the streets and doing those negative things, because Black people did contribute to some positive things in life.
That's good. Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, we have to be, sometimes we have to be shown it, we got to see it, working. I like what you said, walking on that campus, you're seeing all these Black people like, wow, this is good. But they were there for a purpose. They understood the value of education, how that could open up the doors for us. So as you majored in education, what led you to be a teacher?
What led me to be a teacher is when I was on campus, I was really trying to decide what is it that I wanted to do. And I just kind of reflected back on my life and my educational experiences. And I had fun in school. I really enjoyed it, sometimes for the right reasons and sometimes for the wrong reasons. Right. But I did enjoy school. Yeah. And I also wanted to make an impact on future generations. And as I started thinking, I tried a lot of other majors, but, education is that one major that really develops all of the other occupations out there. You can't have a doctor, you can't have a scientist, you can't have an engineer without an educator. And so, I just wanted to be able to make that impact on people so that they can make the impact on, our world and our society. And so that's kind of what led me to the educational field. And, that's what's kept me here too, is just, having the opportunity to influence our youth to make a difference in our society.
That's powerful. I actually can testify. I met one of your students from Johnson Park, I said, I'm meeting with Mr. Baker. He got all excited. Oh yeah, he was my teacher. I love Mr. Baker. I love Mr. Baker. So when you're in that classroom, what impact that you want to leave on those young men and young ladies in that classroom? What impact that you want to leave?
Well, that education can take you wherever you want to go, but you can't go anywhere without an education. And you have to be able to know and understand, just how to learn, because every minute in life is a learning situation. And so, I taught them the academic things, but I also tried to teach them some of the life lessons that I've learned. Life wasn't always perfect for me, but I wanted to be able to, communicate that to them. Although you don't make all of the right decisions in life, all it takes is that contact with that right person to teach you that lesson, so you don't have to learn a lesson, because there's a difference between being taught a lesson and learning a lesson. And I'd rather be taught a lesson than learn a lesson. And that's why, that mentorship and that educational component is important because we want to teach lessons so people don't have to learn lessons, because sometimes you can learn the easy way or you can learn the hard way. You can learn the right way or you can learn the wrong way. So, just being a teacher gave me a chance to give them some academics, but a deeper understanding of what life is.
Wow. Boy, that's a powerful gem there. Teach. You rather teach the lesson, so you have to learn the lesson. Ooh, man, you said something there, Doc. Yeah, that's good stuff.
And trust me, I've learned a lot of lessons. I think we all have learned enough lessons to teach.
Yeah. I wish I'd have heard that from my teacher back in the day. I would start, I got it now. I would have got that quick. That's good stuff. That's good stuff. So as we look at African-American young men today, what direction and guidance are they seeking from older men? What are they asking us? What direction and guidance are they looking for us to lead them to?
I think they want to know that there's a better way to do things. We have, our attention is so focused on the negative things in life that at times we ignore the positive things in life. And it's just amazing on the impact as Black men that we can make on our youth, because they're so focused on the negative things that occur with us on a day-to-day basis. And when they look at us and they say there's another Black man, the first thing that comes into their mind is, we already know it's something negative. Right. But, just really, providing that opportunity to encourage them to do something positive and to see and to know and to learn from someone who's made some right decisions and who's made, some decisions that they regret, is more of an inspiration for them to continue to head in a positive direction. So I just think that they're looking for more encouragement to do the right thing, because, they have so many influences out there to do something negative. I mean, they have the TV, they have social media, they have each other to, really continue to poke and prod them to do things that are really not in alignment with what their future is supposed to be. I think it's beneficial for someone to stand in front of them and say, hey, I've been where you're trying to go. And, you have to make the right decisions. And if you do make the right decisions, things will be okay for you. If I can do it, you can do it too. And it has to come from somebody that looks like them.
Wow, that's powerful. I think one of the things that people always say about you and students that I talk to, they just talk about how transparent you are, how real you are. You're not, you need a principal, you're the big teacher, whatever. But the reality is that you, like I say, you're just like them, that you have some of those same experiences. And I just love when I talk to people, students about you in particular, they talk about how some of those things that you share with them. Now, we don't share all our stories now. We ain't telling them everything. We'll give them a glimpse.
Enough for them to understand that, hey, I've been there. We've been there. We've done that. I mean, we weren't always perfect, and nobody is. But if you have the right people in your life, I mean, you can improve your well-being. You can.
Yeah, as I see how passionate you are about this mentoring, why are you so passionate about mentoring and the value of mentoring?
Because again, like I said, it's important for our youth to see people, to see themselves in the future. I would say that we are what they're going to grow up to be. And the more positive people that you get in front of them, the more positive that they know that their future is going to be. So that mentorship piece is just the sharing of knowledge. And it goes both ways. Every time that I've sat down with a young person in a mentorship opportunity, I learned something too. I walked away knowing something as well. And so, it's just that exchange of knowledge from generation to generation is important. It's key. It's key because, as an older generation, as we become, we need to know and we need to understand a lot of the things that the younger generation is going through. And they need to know and they need to understand what we went through. And so just, setting up that opportunity to exchange that knowledge with people who look like you is powerful. It's powerful. And, some of the mentorship opportunities that I've been involved with and that are up and coming, it just provides that chance and that opportunity to share that and transfer that knowledge. And it has to happen generation after generation.
That's powerful. And I know you being not just on the front line with other young men, you also have a ninth grader, a rising ninth grade son as well.
Yeah. Well, actually, he's going to the 10th grade, 10th grade, sophomore in Gahanna.
Yeah. So what are some of those life lessons that you're trying to impart in him?
The biggest one right now is you can't get something for nothing.
Mm-hmm.
You can't. You have to give something in order to get something. Everything in life isn't free, and you have to work for some of the things that you plan to keep. Mm-hmm. Sometimes things are given to you and you feel as if they're disposable because there was no work and there was no effort behind it. But once you work for something, that value begins to increase. And you really would like it, and you really do whatever you can do to keep it. And so, I just strongly encourage him to, go 100% at whatever you're trying to do, and understand that, you're not going to get something for nothing. That's the thing that, I try to impress upon him day after day, over and over again. Nothing in life is going to be given to you that's worthwhile. Wow. You're going to have to earn some things, and when you earn it, you'll appreciate it.
That's the key. That's the key right there. When you work for something, you appreciate a whole lot more.
And as parents, we want to give our kids everything that they need in order to survive and more. But at times, that ends up hurting our kids at times more than it helps them. And so, you have to have that balance between, giving them the basic things that they need, but allowing them to earn some things too, so that they can appreciate it.
Yeah, we are just saying in our household, I tell my kids, you can play now and pay later, or you can play now, and pay, or you can pay now and play later. But at some point you have to pay.
You're going to have to pay.
You got to decide when you're going to pay.
Right. You're right.
So I tell my young kids.
See, that's a transfer of knowledge right there. I mean, because, we can't do this by ourselves.
Right.
I try to get as many people, even in front of my own child, to influence him, because me saying the same thing over and over again is one thing, but somebody else can come and say that same thing, and the impact will be tenfold. And so, I give him those opportunities to be in front of other people so that they can have those conversations to validate, what I've been trying to tell him. From the beginning.
We talk about that village, we talk about that village. And one thing we as men know, it's a village, but we have to control that village, We have to put our kids in the right situation with the right people.
Absolutely.
With the right people pouring into them as much as we can, particularly when young, as we plant those good seeds. Man, this has been really rich. I'm enjoying this, but I want you, now I need you to issue a challenge. The men to get involved in mentoring. I know that Columbus City Schools is planning upcoming, mentoring for some young men this upcoming school year. And we know all these things have been going on this year. We know that the need is greater now than ever. These young men, we see the things that every time we pick up the paper or look at the news, we see somebody that looks like us involved in something negative. We know how important that mentoring is now. So I want you to issue that challenge to men and why they should get involved.
Okay, so here's a personal challenge to all the brothers out here. Please get involved with mentorship, especially organized mentorship, because it's our responsibility to really raise these young men who don't have parents to raise them, who don't have the guidance that they need to raise them. We are the village, and we are the people that they look up to, and just you walk it into the room is influence enough. but having a conversation and guiding these young men towards success is powerful. If you want to impact some people, mentor, because, you know, again, it goes two ways. You don't just give, you actually get out of mentorship as well. So I challenge all of the brothers out here with positive intentions to really participate in the mentorship opportunities that are available. There are going to be some through Columbus City Schools that, and that information is forthcoming. But my challenge is to all of the brothers out there to please make sure that you get in front of our young men so that we can help grow and develop those future leaders.
That's powerful. I want to dig a little deeper into that because I think sometimes men get a little leery of mentoring. I'm not good enough to mentor. You know, I don't know enough to mentor. Can you speak to it? And you kind of said it earlier on how important it is for just their presence in the room, you know. Just that. You don't have to be perfect, not to have a PhD and all that, but just how important just sharing their life experiences with you, and how young men are waiting to hear that, you know.
Yeah, and you just said it. You just kind of summed it up. I think our young men really appreciate transparency. They know that we're not perfect. They know that they're not perfect. But, you know, your life story means something, you know, and it means something not just to you, it can mean something to others. And so, you know, matching up with the right young man who may be connected and related to you in a way that you don't even know is crucial. So, you know, that's why I said get with an organized mentorship, because, you know, just the simple mechanics or the framework of that mentorship program is there, but the most important piece is you.
Wow. I'm going to leave it at that. The most important piece is you. And the church said amen. Church said amen.
Yes, sir.
I really appreciate your time. And
absolutely. Anytime, anyway.
I encourage you to continue on and know that you're not alone. That there's men, there's brothers that have your back. You know.
Yeah, well, I appreciate
the challenge was issue, and there's some men who's definitely going to step up and come alongside you in your work. So I want to thank you for all you're doing in Columbus City Schools for all the young men and young people, period. Just thank you for that. And thank you for your leadership.
All right. Well, thank you. I appreciate the opportunity.
All right. Have a good day now.
All right.